How's it going, guys? It's Cole with See-Through Panel here, showing off Stages of Rot by Linnea Sterte and published by PO Studios. This is available on their website. I believe it was around between $20 and $30 if I remember right. It is written and drawn by Linnea Sterte, and that is mostly drawing because this is a fairly quiet book. Nice paperback with kind of these, I believe, French flaps or something they're called. I don't really know the purpose of these, but I do know that they have some nice art on them, and they kind of feel like they up the quality and the thickness of the covers, so always nice for production. This book is very silent, as I said before, and features a lot of beautiful, very detailed art, and not a lot of words. A lot of kind of sound effects, alien sound effects, some dialogue, but mostly a bit of narration here and there, kind of title cards. Chapter 1, The Flesh Eaters. And other than that, it's mostly just an art showcase chronicling the death of basically a whale, like an airborne whale, and its effect on the ecosystem throughout the course of what feels like decades or centuries even, and how it affects the world around it, and how that evolves with all kinds of crazy, very inventive technology. As you can see, the colors kind of have this blotchy effect where they're kind of laid down in big groups here. I think it works really well. I think it kind of fits in with the line art, which I'm no expert in art, but I think this is digital. I'm not entirely sure, though. I could definitely be convinced that it's traditional. I wish I could tell. I'm sure someone knows and they can let me know. But it is highly detailed, but also very simple in terms of line, if you look here. Not a lot of they're not showing off, but they're very much getting the job done in a very effective way, in a very creative way. A lot of the landscapes and creatures in this are very inventive, and it seems like kind of a work built out of world building more so than a traditional narrative. It's at times a bit difficult to understand because of how alien the people and creatures and life forms are in this, and how things kind of get done and travel from chapter to chapter can be a bit abstract. One thing I really wanted to share that I really thought should be used more often, I need to find a good example of it. Maybe towards the back half. Oh, I'm just not going to find anything. I'll show it off, but there's these breaks in the panel between everything, so you never get any art trapped in the gutter that you can't actually find, which is a huge problem in printed comics, especially like custom bound stuff. If you've ever seen a custom bound book, the gutter is just terrible. You lose a lot of art and sometimes word balloons in that. And in this book, even when she's, I believe it's a she, hopefully I'm saying that right. It seems like a feminine name to me, but I'm not familiar with this artist. Really, really great design here. Beautiful colors. Has a very good knack for design of very organic feeling creatures, and there's nothing here that even feels mechanical. Even the ships and the people and their technology looks like it's made of bone or something to that effect. Here's a good example of what I mean with this gutter break. This is clearly one panel taking up the entire page, but it is broken up so as not to lose any art in the gutter. You can kind of put it together to see it like that. Chapter 3, The Barbarians. There's not a lot to talk about here because it's very much a quiet, kind of contemplative book. I think there are some things running through it thematically that can be found. I think it would definitely benefit from a reread. I'm not going to claim that I know everything about this book, about what it's trying to say. or really much about what it's trying to say. I definitely think I could reread it, and it's a fast read. Most of the time you're going to put into this is going to be looking at the art and kind of trying to understand what's going on and how everything's connecting, and it does kind of have this cyclical narrative going through it, which I really thought was very profound, but put out there in a very kind of abstract way that you'd have to kind of pick up on several things going on in the early pages and connect them to the later pages. I believe this was put up for an Eisner in 2018. So it was a nominee, it looks like. I don't think it won, or else they would put that on the cover of this new printing. But I see how it deserves that. It's really nice. I think this is her debut graphic novel, at least from P.O. Studios, I believe. So it's wonderful for a debut, and is just completely something else than you've ever seen from any traditional comics publisher. Very abnormal in terms of plot and style. The way they draw smoke is really nice. Color palette changes just a bit with each chapter, but kind of keeps in a general theme. There is nudity in this book. It's not sexualized in any way. It's very much kind of in line with the rest, very detached. Honestly, the whole book does feel a bit detached, yet also very personal, because you're getting so... everything kind of forms around this whale. So the entire time you're basically looking at this whale, just in different parts, and with different effects. So in that way it feels very connected, but it also feels very detached in the sense that we could be centuries from when this whale actually lived, and none of its actual thoughts or anything that it directly did is having any effect anymore, but it's what it affected is still going through here. So I could have said that better, but hopefully you catch my meaning. I love the design on this. And apparently there's also a little companion piece, Blood Codex, a little play on words I think there. And that seems to be just a wordless tale of this little organism going through it backwards. It's kind of going through its life cycle. And I love this kind of page here. Just design there is really neat. Very detailed. But yeah, I mean, this is clearly not a formal review, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it had a lot to say, and I definitely didn't pick up on everything. I think even the cover is just wonderful to look at. The style is very unique, but kind of feels familiar in a sense if you've read a lot of European graphic novels. There's something kind of akin to that in there, but definitely its own unique style. The color is really something else as well. Very much a unique book. Like nothing I've ever read. The narrative is difficult to grasp at first, but I think it comes full circle. Towards the end, you'll start to connect a lot of the dots, and it will make a whole lot more sense. So by the second read through, you're putting a lot more pieces together. So I love these little world building pieces on different animals or bugs or plants sprinkled throughout. So really interesting. I would check it out. Go to Pia's website. They also have a second book there that I'm really interested in buying. I can't recall the name. Something about a frog, but it looks completely different than this in terms of art and story. So really interested to check that out. And then anything else by Linnea Sterte, I'm completely open to, because this was just a wonderful read. So if you've seen this, let me know what you guys think. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Peace.